Joining me in the commentary booth is a legend of the game, Alan Musoke. Your expectations of this game, Alan?
I expect a lot of hard hitting, a lot of very, very swift running, and it's going to be tactical because both teams have played against each other numerous times. They should be getting to the front foot very, very early. And of course, our own Robert Wutimba is in the middle to oversee proceedings.
Yeah, quite a milestone for Robert Wutimba being the referee in this game. It will definitely go a long way in boosting his profile, as well as Kenya are on the onslaught, and it is Griffin Mwaluwakwe. Clearly you can see the kind of momentum with which they have started. Another very good recycling of the ball coming in from the scrum half here, Samuel Moi Asafi. Kenya continue to dominate play here. Barry Robinson Young, the fly half. Zimbabwe holding their lines quite well. Again, Barry. And now, of course, it's Walter Okoth, Kenya in the 22 of the Zimbabweans, as the Zimbabweans defend their lines and kick the ball away, but then there is a whistle.
The Zimbabwe have actually been getting their set pieces well. pretty smooth.
Yeah, exactly, and that was a nice one executed there by Mandoma, the hooker for Zimbabwe. Just threw the ball quite nicely there for them to gain the advantage. Matthew Mandioma. A kick back there by the Kenyans, but Zimbabwe just pick it up there quite well. Tapiwa Mafura.
It will also come into play how the teams set up their series. And you see Silky running there.
With shot number 13 there, getting the touchdown. Brown on Kendiezi with the first try of the game. That looked quite easy. I think that the home fans, the Ugandan fans, are supporting Zimbabwe.
It is possibly a case of they are feeling the pains of Kenya getting one over them in the yes, the wind is definitely blowing against that kick. And yeah, you see, Kenyezi had to put his head down, tuck the ball in, and
sets his bow and arrow
on target there. The restart comes to Kenya.
Yeah, and Kenya now will be trying the utmost to just get back into this one. You don't want to allow Zimbabwe to get control of the game and stay with the lead for quite some time. George Nyambua there, Kenyan captain, trying to gain territory there. Good recycling there by John Kobu there. And then number 13 for Kenya, just darting in. That's Bryson Agesa Daka. And Kenya, that's a knock-on this time. A bit of the pressure, a bit of the nerves there that are setting in on Bethwell Anami.
That has been saved by the whistle because they were really pent back and pegged back into the half. The Kenyans choosing not to go for the 3. They want to try the rolling more.
Kenyan fans there in anticipation of something from this moving mall. But then
try time, Kenya.
Try there for the Kenyans. Try time, Kenya. Wow, that is quite a quick reaction.
To get the forwards of their feet.
Mall keeps moving, pegging back the Zimbabweans, and there you are, it's touched down.
Yeah.
And that looks like a front rower, clearly. Just what do you think this means for the referee like Wutimba being unofficial at the rack?
No, it actually shows that his work has been to very, very good effect, as they are playing advantage there. And look at that race, bouncing just out of touch. Fire. And if you see as they put that ball up, he was just hoping that it would just bounce on and stay in field. And then that means you see the frustration there.
Mandioma with the responsibility to get the ball in, and they secure it quite well. Godfrey Muzanangoro, and then Mudariki, and then there's a big hit there.
Zimbabwe, as the ball comes out, Ian Pryor sends the ball out. Whoa!
And he keeps the ball in. Good play there by the Zimbabweans to keep the ball on, and that's Matthew McNabb. But then there was a big tackle there. So shall we? Yeah, just look at that. McNabb
as John
just
Kubu
kept the ball in, and comes off a Kenyan. Will it be a line out to the Zimbabwean? It's a penalty. For the high tackle on the ears, and that you saw that incident. I thought it was. I
did want to
get out court Kenya Asati again finds Nyambua, the captain, goes down. Ruck is well secured. And again, good pickup find Andy Cole Omolo, the man of the match in the game against Uganda. Again, Kenya continue to recycle the ball. Good play there as Thomas Okeyo. Asati again, Nyambua gaining territory here. Asati picks it up again and finds John Kubu. Some real dazzling play from the Kenyans here. Maintaining momentum. Water, of course, again goes down. And ball is well presented. And the ruck is well secured. That's a very good phase of play for the Kenyans. Keeping ball is key here.
Yes, they've had a couple of phases now, and if the counter is right, they should have had about 5 or 6. And
a penalty.
Showing you good state and good momentum. But he has lost to Uganda a couple of times because Liam Walker did punish him and put him on the losing end.
And that was a fantastic kick. With the line-out duties. Securing the ball at this point will definitely, and yes, that's great execution there. And as the ball is well picked up by Kudakwashe, almost formed a rolling more there. Dariki is held back. The captain, scrum half. The ruck is well secured here. The Zimbabweans continuing to pound here, getting ever closer to the try line. Thinking of, and that's a very big tackle coming in from the Kenyans to stop Godfrey Muzanago. Zimbabwe again, Zekeri, and that's a touchdown this time by the captain.
Mudariki.
Fantastic play by the Zimbabweans to extend their tally to 13 points. Now that needed some real magical play.
Escape the attentions, and then you see the pop pass. Hilton Mudariki was able. Yes, you just mentioned him a short while ago with a big carry.
Yeah.
He failed to reach the line, but he had the presence of mind to pop the ball, and all the way from 10 a.m. this morning. Unfortunate loss there by the Uganda Rugby Cranes, going down in the second game of the day, going down to Morocco 24-12.
Asati finds, of course, his teammate here, that is Bethwell Anami. Kenya continuing to try and break the lines here as he almost went in through Hotel Court there. Kenya doing a good job in recycling, and it's now George Otieno Nyambua, the captain. And then he finds Asati. Again, Kenya continue to recycle the ball with great intent. And now it's Bethwell Anami. Zimbabwe trying to wrestle the ball away, but the Kenyans won't allow them. Kenya again. It's now Andy Kolomolo. Exercises his power there. As the ruck is secured, Kenya smelling blood here as they continue to move the ball with intent. Another big ball carry there from Nyambua, George, the captain, and John Kubu. Now finds Robinson Young, but then he's pegged back by the Zimbabweans. Good defensive player, and it's now Kenya's Ephraim Bwire Odu, the lucid. He finds Andy Kolomolo. Zimbabwe doing a good job pegging back the Kenyans, Alan.
Yes, I think that the Kenya Simbas, the back line is guilty of being a little pedestrian there. As John Kubu picked up the ball and passed it to Barry Young, I think they lost momentum because Barry Young wasn't going at full flight. And there the Kenyans playing at a penalty advantage for the player not rolling out of there.
With a chance to get Kenya to 11 points, John Kubu. And he splits the poles, and it's 11-13. Pressure. Kenya want to get there as well so that they can make it to the Rugby World Cup in 2027 in Australia. Just how much pressure does that put on these two sides?
Oh no, Alan? It does. And the pressure is really, really huge because if you look at it, that way, you have a chance. And Chowa is back, and he is still putting in the big hits. He is rushing up.
Yeah, of course, he was out for the 10 minutes. And now he's come back energized. I guess Griffin Chow has been energized by that 10-minute break. I'll bet the fact that he was quite costly to his team, but they didn't really suffer so much even without him. So you've got to give credit to Kenya as John Kubo kicks territory. The ball well received by Ian Pryor. Finds Tapira.
Oh, and he is a very silky runner. What does he choose to do? I think he chose the wrong option there because he had players on his infield. It's easier to keep the ball in hand.
He tried to go on the outside.
Yes.
And instead, the ball just didn't get anywhere, and instead just set them back. Ian Pryor now for Zimbabwe as they continue to mount pressure here, and it's now Tino Mavesere. But then the ball out of hand goes out into touch, so it's a Kenyan ball.
Gifting possession to your opponents.
Interesting line out from Sifuna to find George Nyambua. Just clearly catching the Zimbabweans unawares. That's smart play from the Kenyans as John Kubu kicks for territory. It's well picked up by Ian Pryor, so the Zimbabweans will come again as Tapari. Shot number 15, Tapiwa.
Tapiwa. He's a very, very silky runner. He does evade his tackles and does get them a lot of ground, so they need to be able to watch him. He is a very
cunning player.
Yes, a very cunning fullback. I would equate him to Timothy Chisiga.
Zimbabwe kick for territory here. Griffin Chow has got to know that McNabb is right under him there.
The wind, but you can still see as the flags are being swayed by the wind. Let's see how that goes. The flags go up. He does miss, so he's not having a good kicking game by his standards.
Penalty is missed.
Just get it out as quickly as possible.
And just get it back, and Asati.
The secondary shove there from the Kenya Simbas. The ball is available to be used. Asati running across, gets the ball to Barry Young, to John Kubu. And
there's a knock on, unfortunately, there. But play will be called back.
That's a penalty, one of the scrum penalties that Zimbabwe has conceded for, and that's for players breaking off.
Let's see what those legs have got to offer. He kicks the ball and just can't split the balls.
Yeah, I think they don't count the halftime break because then you wouldn't be back anyway. So they'll be so a little bit of fortuitous, a little there for them. They have 10 minutes. As McNabb tries to get the chicken wing, and Chow, he is a quick man, and if there's nobody there, he is going to find his way.
Wow. And Kenya, right at the stroke of halftime, get the try in. And it is Griffin Chow, the man that got into the sin bin earlier, is the man that gives Kenya the lead at halftime. Griffin Chow, just look at that.
I think that was just a little too elaborate from
Hilton
Mudariki. Look at his running style. Legs are up. He's running on his toes. True sprinter. He dots down. And he will give you the customary celebration because he loves find the white line. And with his pace, you can clearly see that nobody was going to catch him. Again, we wonder where was the fullback at that point in time, because there has to be some cover at that point. And then you see John Kubu.
And he split the balls. And he's 18-13. Does, of course, Griffin Chow remind you of yourself?
Well, you have to be lucky at some point, but as you pick it up, you should be thinking one thing: let me just run to the line. And he is pretty quick. I think he would give me a hard time catching if I was on that field right now.
Welcome back to the second half here at the Nelson Mandela Stadium, Nambole, for the second semi-final between Zimbabwe in the green and white against the Kenya Simbas in the red. Kenya going into that halftime break, leading the game 18-13. So the temperatures have been raised. John Vianney Simbe, your commentator, and shortly you'll be hearing the voice of a former Rugby Cranes player, Alan Musoke, giving us his 2 cents on the way this game is flowing. Kenya leading 18-13, so it's all hands on deck for the Zimbabweans as they try to get back into this one. 5 points separate the two sides as the ball is well picked up by Tapira Mafua of Zimbabwe. Good reception. The work is well secured. Mudariki, the captain, finds Ian Pryor. Good recycling. The Zimbabwean Mudekezi still gets the ball there, Brandon, but got the first try, and there's a knock on there by the Zimbabwean Mandioma. Well picked up this time by Godfrey Musanago. Can they set the rolling maul that puts Kenya under pressure? see the battle there as the rock is well secured eventually by Jobe.
Yeah, this is the time for the Kenya big boys to
do the work, put in the shift. And then again, there's a bit of a fumble there. But the advantage is still with Zimbabwe. It is, of course, the attack that continues. But then the pass to find McNabb. Shakes off John Kubu. McNabb with a good pass in. But then that touch for the Zimbabwe Sebos. Keegan Jobe. It's picked up here by Dylan Utete. Makes progress in terms of territory. Puts pressure on the Kenyans. The rock is secured. The Zimbabweans must be smelling blood here. And the tackling is coming in from Andy Molo of Kenya. Zimbabwe persisting, pressing on. And just look at the battering rams there that are involved in trying to get Zimbabwe over the line. If they got a try here, it would level the game to be 18 apiece. And just look at Madiaomo, the hooker. Gets the ball again. They've got to make sure that the ball keeps moving. Otherwise, they still present the ball, the Zimbabweans. Yoma gets it, and then they are pushing on. And that is a try by the Zimbabweans.
That's Utete, the man who's just come on. Dividends with 2 points to follow off that charity strike. Utete did pump his feet, had the presence of mind to keep it in hand and keep it tight, keep it locked. Try time.
Yes,
the Zimbabwe Sabres.
Yeah, good play there as Muteshi Anami just playing as the 8th man of Kenya, just couldn't.
Their possession and their dominance on getting points on the board at that point in time. That flags go up.
I'm surprised also that the Kenya Simbas have kept their two of their front row players, and that is Ephraim Bwire, the Lucid, and the tight end, Will Height Mususi. I'm just surprised at 70-point mark, and they're still on at this level.
Yeah, because a lot of work has gone in for them to contain the scrums, and the amount of work that the big boys have been throwing at them on the defensive end means as Ian Pryor lines up the drop kick. Ian Pryor, perfect off the boot. Friends of Zimbabwe, and there are going to be a number of them and a couple of them. That was well set up there by Ian Pryor. He had the poise, and he, as soon as he struck that, he knew. He just said running back to about 9 minutes to play.
Quite a lot of time.
Good territory and good space for the Kenya Simbas as Asati runs and passes it on to Henry Okoth.
Okoth presents the ball, and now Barry picks it up, and now Kenya playing with all the zest that they have in the world, and now the ball is picked up by Anes Kuke Obat. Good recycling by the Kenyans, and Andy Molo. Asati picks the ball out, continues with the flow, and now that's Victor Teddy. Is the ball turned over? Kenyans still have it, and it is Asati now. He finds the loose head, Eugene Bwire Odu of Kenya. And now Andy Molo knocks out his opposite here, the Zimbabwe Lucid. Kenya smelling blood here, continuing to pile on the pressure on the Zimbabwe Sebos. Asati, they're getting ever closer. The Kenyans continuing to pile the pressure, recycling the ball. Not releasing the ball while on the ground. It's a penalty to Zimbabwe. Now that's a big mistake by the Kenyans.
Well, what you think? Rugby is a game played on your feet. You can't go diving. It's not a swimming pool. So if you just see there as they try to secure the ruck, he is on his feet and
on his knees. Actually,
he has been given the responsibility to see out the rest of the game. The line out is perfect.
Yes, Madioma is withdrawn by Zimbabwe, and instead it is Lakan doing the hooker roll, and then there's a knock on there by Kenya. It's really, really disappointing, I'm sure, for Derek Ashihundu. Give it the grip required. Just look at that.
Yeah, he just forgot to close up his elbows at the very end, putting the ball into the...
Zimbabwe will be happy about proceedings here. They lead by 5. At one point they were trailing by 5. Kenya Wrong entry again. So it's a penalty to Zimbabwe.
Then that takes the game farther and farther away. It looks good. Splitting the uprights. Ian Pryor. What a penalty. What a kick again. Coming to the fore late on and being as accurate as should be. There are the fans celebrating. The fans are jubilating. Well,
definitely rooting for them there.
Sympathizers. Yes, I get the head watch is paying off a little bit. But these are our neighbors. They are our sables. Let's just do this.
Yeah, let's support them. And the bounce was quite kind to Zimbabwe. Otherwise, they hesitated to go in, and then also Kenya hesitated. Now the ball is in the hands of Zimbabwe there, and it is shot number 6, the flanker there, some Veseri. As Lakan goes in to support Jobe, and then the kick by Pryor. John Kubu picks it up. Kenya will keep the fight on. Barry finds Shihundu, who committed the knock-on, and Shihundu.
Darren Mukenjenyezi, he has had a blind of a game, and I think he should be putting up his hand for the man of the match mentioned. Ian Pryor applies violence, and it's in.
29 Zimbabwe, 18 Kenya.
It is going to be hard for Kenya to come down now, but of course,
because that's a difference of 9 points.
Well, if it gets, you have to keep the scoreboard ticking. The Kenya Simbas actually haven't done that at all in the second half, and that has come back to bite them.
Yeah, because they were leading 18-13 at halftime, and as you can see, there's no point there.
There is the intercept. Does he have enough?
Well, the flag goes up. He had stepped out. It's a ball to Zimbabwe. See that?
Jobe first stopped him enough, and then in comes the onrush. He deserves the man just for that try-saving tackle.
But then they lose the ball in the line out. The Kenyans receive it.
Try time to the Kenya Simbas. What a mistake there. But maybe it's a little too late, because the hooter should be going anytime now.
And John Kubu.
Well, he wants the restart. He wants the restart.
Steady Victor picks up the ball, and he just touches down, and you can see how the Zimbabwe players are not happy about themselves, their teammates, and the way they executed at the line out. I think he would just want a restart.
Yes, he actually just wanted the restart. Actually refused to take the restart, but as long as you've scored within regulation time, then, I think they are applying. I think they are applying they want to apply the 7th rule, and they say give us a restart so that they can contest for it.
So if they can kick the ball to the if the Zimbabweans kick the ball to them, then they receive it, and then they can launch another attack, hopefully get a try, and then they get the 7 points, or rather get the 5, and then can convert, and then they lead 30-29.
Other referees to see if the try was scored within regulation, so that, and then kick or not, it is over. The Zimbabwe Sables are through to the final, where they can contest for a place at the World Cup, or if not, they go for the repechage.